Alrighty, who's doing it?
Yeah, go on. I'll go today.
Okay.
Last session. In our last session, we continued our journey towards the crossroads. We came upon a large waterfall with a bridge in front of it. Where we met a weird little dude called Bonk. He was a boggle, which is the sort of nightmare you find under your bed. And he was pretty fucking useless to everyone.
He was not useless.
He stated that
So cruel.
somebody was killed before us when they walked over the bridge, and he showed us the bones, but didn't tell us what would kill them, and claimed he'd never seen them or heard them, but somehow managed to avoid the damage. He wanted copper coins or questions. We asked a bunch of questions to which he didn't really give the answer, and then he ate all our coins. But he did tell us one interesting thing, which is that Rahardin, who is the strange vampire, we think, vampire-ish character, who was strangling a girl who looked like Irene in an earlier episode, is Strahd's brother. Beyond that, we had a little chat about how terrible life was for Raziel in the previous episode. We got a bunch of loot from him, including a Moontouch short sword, and some cloak that said, "To my brave boy" on it. We don't really know who that was, but they're probably dead. We then made it to the crossroads, where we bid Irene and Ismark farewell. We wished them luck. We said we hoped to catch up with them in the future after we visited Strahd. God only knows why we decided to visit Strahd, but we somehow came to that conclusion. Probably because the players want to go even if the characters don't. While Irene and Ismark were about 8 foot away, we got attacked by zombies. They didn't give a shit and kept going. We fought the zombies off bravely, and we leveled up, but Tyler didn't tell us until 10 minutes before session, which is why we're late.
That's true.
Why the GIF isn't done. That was us. I don't think I missed anything out. Okay, and then we took a long rest after that fight. Yeah, why not? We did take a long rest after that fight in the cart. Barney kept watch because he's a brave dude. And now we proceed towards the Castle of Strahd from fairly close, right?
Kind of. Yes and no.
From somewhat
I'll show you the map.
We're a lot closer than we were when we started.
That is true.
Oh, we know where they are. Cool. Map's keeping track.
We got GPS on them.
Okay. It's a 2-mile ride.
It is
Chop
not
chop,
that
Barney.
About how long do you think that will take? Barn. I'm asking Barney.
Yeah. With the carriage, still, he will tell you. Probably roughly 30 minutes.
Oh,
Perhaps less.
that's perfect. That's perfect. Phaedra sits down and starts chanting.
Anything specific or just in general?
Just
I don't elaborate to you guys, but I am ritual casting augury, which takes 11 minutes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I get an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. So within the next 30 minutes, we should be at Strahd's house. I'm wondering, otherworldly entity, what kind of results can we expect from this? And you have to answer cryptically with wheel for good, woe for bad, wheel and woe for good and bad, and nothing.
Alrighty.
While you're chanting, I'm strumming the lute offbeat to try and make it sound like a ska tune. But more importantly, that is casting aid. So it'll be everyone who's not Togok, plus 5 to max HP.
Oh, cool.
Did you say 5?
Yeah, bring me up to a nice round 20.
Oh, I already had the 5 applied.
Yeah, so if you long rest, which you said you needed to do when you got back to the computer,
yes, sorry.
and Michaela, I think you also needed to do, it will disappear, so just re-add it. Yeah, that's
Okay.
him the following morning, and then I'll keep the weird offbeat strumming going on as you chant, just to try and distract you annoyingly.
Raziel is currently got his he's like sat by the window as per usual, and he has his dragon tooth dagger out, and he's just kind of like fiddling with the handle strap, just kind of like almost like a little bit anxiously, like just toying with it, just like peeling a little bit of the leather off and then putting it back on as we're getting closer.
Nervous. I got an
Alrighty.
18 on my concentration, so Dax is not distracting me.
Alrighty. Is there anything else anybody wanted to do in these next 30 minutes before you get there?
Nope.
Alright. Phaedra, as
Yes.
you begin your chanting, ignoring Dax,
Yeah.
staying focused.
Yep.
It is. Let's see. Hmm. Do you still have your familiar up right now? Your raven?
Oh yeah.
You see all of the feathers on it slowly begin to turn white,
Oh no.
and they almost glisten with like a silver color.
Hmm.
And as you're kind of just
This-
mesmerized by this, a bird hits the window beside you really hard and cracks the glass.
Huh. Hmm. Did anyone get scared?
Dax didn't notice, like he was too busy getting a little offbeat rhythm going on.
Goodness.
I think Raziel probably flinched as he is
Yeah,
like.
you were looking
fid-
right at the window.
Yeah, as he's fiddling with his dagger, he probably finished at that.
Ugh. Well,
That is a cryptic one.
I
Seriously
will
cryptic.
file that away. And my bird is staying this silver color.
It is.
Oh boy. I don't know what to make of this.
Snazzy new hairstyle.
It's a little gaudy.
As we get a little
All right.
closer, I'm going to turn to the group and just be like,
Yeah.
So, we've been together a while now. I think this is day 5, right?
Oh my god, are you breaking up with us?
It's been a real interesting experience. I thank you for keeping me from dying. But obviously there is a good chance that this is the last time that we will ever share a meal together when we get there. At least one of us is likely to die, if not all of us. So on that really positive note, I just want to say, like, it's been great, guys. Some of you are
Don't worry,
more
Dax.
unusual than others, but yeah, if we survive this bedscapades, and with that, I will give each of you 9 temporary hit points for the foreseeable future.
Oh my
It will
goodness.
last until our next short rest, or until you lose them.
Wow.
As this is Dax, I do an inspiring speech.
That's
I love
boy,
you,
am
we're
I
gonna
inspired.
Why
That was
would
very
you?
inspiring, Dax.
Why would you put that out in the universe? You just jinxed us all.
The bedscapades?
No, the death.
Oh,
You
well,
just jinxed
don't
us
tell
all.
me you weren't all thinking it.
Don't worry, Razia. We've
Apart from Toggle,
already
isn't too much
jinxed
thinking.
ourselves.
Yeah, we killed a bunch of ravens. That's probably enough to kill us.
We did nothing of the sort.
We did,
You.
and I'll sort of gesture towards Phaedra and do a little me and you. We're all in this together. But seriously, despite the strangeness and the fact that we're all going to die, it has been fun. Sort of.
Agreed.
All
If
right.
you're feeling inspired, Barney, you can have 9 temp HP too.
Is he
It's
inspired?
up to 6 allies.
Is he feeling inspired?
The horse. I got one.
Yes! Yes! Midnight, that's who I will include.
Oh,
6
no.
friendly creatures. I will include Midnight, the horse.
Aww.
Alrighty.
That's
Told you
sweet.
to, horsey! Keep it up. Maybe this style will help you survive the next null.
Phaedra, I believe you were the one who was purposefully keeping an eye on it. That letter from Strahd.
Yeah, I was checking that out.
As you get nearer and nearer to this castle, the stress begins to build, the tension of the silence. You do notice a change.
Ooh.
There you go.
I called for my family, long unseated from their ancient thrones, and brought them here to settle in the Castle Ravenloft. I'm gonna have to look at the other ones. I'm trying to remember whose point of view this
You got that,
letter was
Phaedra?
from.
You can...
Oh,
Was that a premonition or something?
No. Check the letter. I will hand the letter to Dax.
Well, at least it's not oblique about us, our chances.
Where were the previous? Okay,
So-
yes.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
So when I got my new, very fashionable bag, I put my bag inside of that bag. I would like to open the bag of holding to see if there was anything left in there or if it was just empty.
Give me a perception check.
Okay, thank God it's not investigation. That's a dirty 20.
Oh. So while you don't see anything, you do hear these very distant tap sounds. They're very lengthy and apart from each other,
Oh,
and it sounds like it's down a very long hallway.
Lord. I'm gonna regret this, but I will. Oh God, does the tapping sound like it's like on glass or like on a? I don't know.
With a 20, I will tell you that it almost sounds like a very soft clap.
Inside the bag. Like my instant reaction is to just like dive my arm in, and just blindly reach. But you're saying it sounds like a corridor, so now I'm thinking, should I get inside of the bag? I guess I will try to very discreetly reach my arm in and I guess blindly feel around because I don't want to whisper into my bag like, "Hello, anyone in there?" You know. So yeah, I guess I'll just try and discreetly reach into the back and feel around.
Did any of us notice that Dax is like arm deep in a bag that's hand deep?
Dax is arm
hand
deep in
wide.
a bag.
I'm
What's
not
Dax
sure.
doing? Arm
Sorry,
deep in a bag?
the Braziel is arm deep in a bag that is not big enough for his arm.
It is a small carriage, so give me a stealth check. If you're trying
You
to
trying to
prevent
be
them.
discreet?
That's a 20, a dirty 20.
Didn't
Ooh.
see a fucking thing.
That is pretty good.
No. Too busy strongman along.
He's doing like illusionist tricks, you know? Like this hand's doing all the distraction while that hand's his arm deep in his Mary Poppins
Yeah.
bag.
Where did the fifth hand come from?
I don't notice.
As you discreetly do this, what does Raziel think of?
I mean, I think, with the brief encounter I've already had with Strahd, it doesn't, like, the thought of someone being trapped in there does not escape my mind. Like, it could be a possibility. You know, is it a portal to another place, and I'm hearing like on the other side of the portal? He's also
Bear with us. I'm currently having Discord problems. I'm sure we'll be up and running again soon.
You reach your hand in, you get all the way about up to your elbow, and you kind of have to like reach down, and you feel a wet stone floor that feels almost
Oh.
mossy.
Oh. Okay, so like pretend this is the mossy ground right? This is my hand. So he's probably gone and then felt it and gone and then like and like felt around a bit and probably like dug into the moss. It's like, no, that is moss. Like he's reassuring himself he's not crazy. And I guess he would like use his hand to like move around a bit more, see what else he can feel.
Mhm.
Kind of scared though. Get bit
Yeah.
by a spider or something.
As you kind of like spread your hand out, you get to a part that feels like wet cobblestone. Then there's more moss, then some wet cobblestone again, and you feel the moss kind of like almost like attached to your fingers as you're like drifting it around, like a wet carpet.
If I look out the window and see a giant hand coming out of the sky, this is going to be really awesome. Um, oh god. Okay, then in that case, I think I'd probably pull my hand not fully out so that everyone else sees, but still inside the bag, just so I can look at my hand and take a look at the moss that's now attached to me.
Yeah. It is not green. It is a very dark red color.
Oh, of course it is. It's blood moss. Does it? I mean, again, trying to burn discreetly. Can I smell it? Does it smell like death?
Give me a perception check.
I just got this image that like Dax has got
Yeah.
two hands in this. Sorry, Razio's got two hands in this bag. His face is like inches from it. He's like, and all of us are just staring out the window, nonchalantly whistling.
I have a nose like a bloodhound. That's a nat 20 for a 24.
Wow.
With a 24, it smells exactly like toes, just dirty
Ew.
toes.
Oh,
Like the just a very nasty, moldy carpet that has just been walked on
oh
for
god.
just a millennia.
I think at this point, Raziel's like in his head. He's like, why? What is this? Like, what's the purpose of it? Why would Strahd put it there? Why would he give this to me? I think before I stop playing with it, I'm gonna go back in, and when I feel my fingertips touching the ground, the cobblestone, I'm going to tap on it on the same rhythm that I heard.
That you heard from where?
That I heard when I first opened it.
Ah, okay. You do it a couple times, and you hear that same light tap sound,
Mm-hmm.
and then very quickly, almost like long strides, you hear it get faster and faster and louder and louder, and very quickly you can tell that it sounds like bare feet on stone, but they are very lengthy and apart.
Someone trapped in there, maybe. I also don't want to keep my hand in there in case they like cut off my fingers. Okay, at this point, I feel like everyone's watching me, even though everyone's blind as a bat. So
I'm
I
respecting
will.
your privacy.
Yeah, exactly. Just put a curtain up. I will remove my hand for now and stop messing with it. and try, again stealthily like wipe my hand on the, not on my nice leather, but on the carriage. Yeah, and I'll stop messing with it for now. But very intrigued, but also kind of scared.
It does all come off just like regular moss, but your hand does still reek. Just real bad.
Yuck, smelly
That's
hand.
fine.
It smells like toe gork.
Gross.
Wow. Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll just hope that the castle has at least one bathroom that I can wash up with. Hopefully Strahd has nice soap.
Exactly.
Speaking of cleaning, you do note that prior to the feast, Dax is waving his hand up and down his little waistcoat, and on his he's got a cravat out of his bag, and he's putting that on. He's getting ready for dinner, doing his buttons up, and he's casting prestidigitation. You've not seen him cast this before. It's a talent he's sort of latently had, but he's only really used it for like minor sort of like visual effects. And now he's like actually using it for cleaning purposes and getting rid of the dirt. And then sort of very subtly, he's trying not to be noticed. He's also just sort of cleaning Togork a little bit. He's getting the dirt off of his clothes and like trying to freshen him up a little bit. I'm trying to do it really subtly, but just like a little bit of dirt cleansing going on you.
You touch Togork, he's gonna.
No,
put
I
his
don't
fist in
touch
the
you
air.
at all. I'm just sort of waving my hand towards you, and I can clean a space within 10 feet. So I'm just I'm cleaning an object no larger than 1 cubic foot, e.g., square feet of your clothing. This nonchalant cleaning. A little bit here, a little bit there.
Alright. As you begin to get closer to the castle, you see the weather visibly darken. The sky begins to dim, and the weather gets much worse very quickly.
Does it appear
Almost like
night is falling, or like?
It seems to go from day almost to complete night. Just as soon as you pass almost like a barrier. It seems like you just go to the next day.
That's weird.
Anyone else seeing this?
Yes.
Looks like it's always dinner time at Strahd's. I suppose that's convenient in some ways.
It's always dark in Barovia.
Yeah, but it's getting darker.
Darker than dark. I mean, who really cares? It's already dark.
It was day over there, and that's in Barovia too.
Well. Okay.
Can you see any stars?
Maybe it's
Togork looks up at the top of the carriage. Nope, I don't see no stars.
maybe it's like when it rains, like over a certain area, but then you go to the next area and there's no rain.
Oh, like a.
But it's still
personal-
raining over there.
Like a
Maybe
personal
that's what it's
nighttime
like.
weather. Okay.
It does begin to rain,
Ugh.
and you hear the booms of the thunder, the cracks of the lightning, and you see the castle. There's a drawbridge, but right before it, there are 2 very large towers. First thing you notice is that the drawbridge is down. It looks very old, barely stable, but it almost seems to welcome you inside.
Are there any windows at the front of the castle?
You don't see any windows from this side, but you do immediately see the doorway that is at the bottom center of the castle. And just before you get to the portcullis, the carriage stops,
Oh boy.
and
Boy,
Barnacle
indeed.
gets off the reins,
Barney get
heads to the door,
Oh,
opens it up.
no.
the door of the castle or our carriage?
The carriage.
Jesus, I thought he was going for it.
No.
Okay.
What if the rain counts as running water? Strahd can't come over here.
Ooh, that's a good point.
It's optimistic.
I'll be the first to get out.
All right.
I'll be the
He holds
last.
the door for you.
Yeah, I'll get out.
Out damn time right here.
Mm-hmm.
Present.
Dax.
He waits for Dax.
I'm out. I'm very
All
close to Togok's back left leg. Back left leg? He doesn't have 4 legs. I'm
Is he
close to the back of his left leg.
Goodness.
Close to the back of his left leg.
I'm a centaur now.
Okay.
Oh wow, Togor.
And he's definitely talked to Dax probably the most. So he's going to reach his hand down towards you, Dax, and he will say, "It was a pleasure, sir, to all of you."
I don't suppose you want to like pick us up from like a couple of hours down the road in a bit.
Where will you be heading?
Back the way towards the crossroads that we just left is Marquette. It's just otherwise it's going to be a really long walk for you.
Pedro, just send Arnie. I'm sending when we need to leave.
I don't know
Level
that spell.
5.
I'm only level 4.
Oh, I thought you just took it. Sorry.
Togok
thought-
knows magic?
I thought you just said you were taking it. Sorry.
No, I was gonna take message, but I didn't, and also he'll be way far away from message.
Yeah, never mind.
If you circle back in like 3 hours, I don't know, somewhere near us. If you don't find us, we're dead.
3 hours.
That's the spirit.
I
Maybe
will
4,
say
5.
that being anywhere near this castle is more than likely quite dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
prefer not to be here longer than I need to.
How about at the crossroads tomorrow around noon?
You expect
Or
to
not-
stay here the night then?
I mean,
It's always night here.
yeah.
Well.
Kind of get tired after I eat a lot of food.
If we arrive sooner, then we can leave sooner, but noon is probably a good time to
All right. What time is like
decide
is it
we're
right
dead.
I mean, didn't we
You
just
have
wake
no
up?
idea.
It's night
now? I have
time.
no idea. All right. All right.
Oh.
5 hours. Give us 5 hours in the cross. We'll meet you at the crossroad in 5 hours.
Meet you at the crossroads.
Let's
And
hold.
if we're not there in 5 hours, be there tomorrow at noon. If we're not there, go the next day at noon. If we're not there, I guess we'll never see you again.
Togok, you're overcomplicating this. If we're not there by noon tomorrow, we're dead. Good luck.
Stalk
I
me
do not
yourself.
work for any of you.
I'll be looking for you, Barnable.
I suppose this transaction has come to its conclusion. I will be willing to make another. It seems as though I am not able to leave this place by my own will. So, maybe a transaction.
Okay. Yeah. If we're dead, you can keep the horse.
It's
My horse.
It's a horse.
What do you think? If we're alive,
Listen.
I'm gonna need that horse, and transactions will occur.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Silvertongue,
Ooh.
you have a way with words, and perhaps you are the one to ask. I will wait at the crossroads for 6 hours. My only condition is that you ask this Mr. Zarovich. You ask what information he has on this Rudolph.
Rudolph?
Yes.
Got it.
The Richtofen individual.
I'll do that. Note to self. Barney wants news on the reindeers. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
As this conversation's happened with everyone trying to barter for for Barnaby, Raziel is a little bit closer to the castle, just kind of looking towards it and like the grandeur of it, and he's not paying any attention to the rest of the party.
6 hours, Barnable. We'll ask about Rudolph. Travel safe. And then Dax sort of like visibly swallows and like turns himself to face the castle.
You see Barnable kind of just like look at it as you guys begin heading across the drawbridge. And he sighs. He does not have a whole lot of hope for you guys.
That's fair.
The feeling is mutual.
As
I
we
hope you don't die, Barnable. And then I walk away.
As we
You
cross the
too,
bridge,
miss.
Dax reaches his hand up as if to grab Togok's hand, then realizes Togok's hand is not going to be forthcoming and sort of tries to pretend it didn't happen. And he's like,
Togork is moving forward, probably for the first time ever, with a smile.
Whoa, Togar's excited for dinner.
As you begin heading across this large drawbridge that is down, it is very, very old. You can see holes in the floor, and as you are going across, looking down, it goes down 1,000 feet. It just goes into darkness. You can barely see the tops of the trees that are below you. And as you make it to the other side, thick, cold fog swirls in this courtyard. Sporadic flashes of lightning lance the weeping clouds overhead as thunder shakes the ground. Through the drizzle, you see torch flames fluttering on each side of the keep's open main doors. Warm light spills out from the entrance, flooding the courtyard. And high above its entrance is a round window with shards of broken glass still lodged in its frame. And underneath one of these sconces that are outside, you see a hunched over individual with a fur on his face. A large green, almost like blanket draped over him.
Where is he exactly? On the bridge?
He is by the door.
Oh, and where's Bonk? Was that his name? Was that
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is a
where's-
great question.
Did he
Was
stay
on
with
the horse?
Barney?
Bonk will... He wanted to watch.
Oh.
So,
Forgot about Bonk.
to Dax's dismay, he is following you guys.
That is what Togork would have wanted.
We have our
I
very own.
don't. Dax has absolutely no problem with Bonk following us, as long as he's not sat on that fucking horse. It's the horse that Dax cared about. I could give a shit about Bonk.
So you said it was Strahd that was standing in the doorway?
No, a
No,
little,
no.
a little
No,
hunchback
it's some
in a green blanket.
little
It's
furry
far-
face.
It's probably
will,
the caretaker or something of the
The butler's
grounds.
expecting us.
Show you the picture.
I'll give it a little wave.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck is that?
Very that.
It's the I give
Bach,
like
is
the
that your-
tiniest little wave.
Is that Bach's brother?
Do I recognise
It's
what
got.
the creature
Oh my
is?
gosh, he's got one webbed foot.
Well, he would have
Kinda
two webbed
cool.
feet if he didn't have a shoe on. Do I recognise? Do
Well,
I
my
recognise
point
what
being,
he
I don't
is?
think the other one's webbed because he's got a shoe on.
It's just a tight shoe. But do I recognise what the creature is? As a spinner of fairy
give
tales
me
and a reader of books.
An Arcana check.
Sick. Oh, big one. 22.
Okay. Even with a 22, you are just barely, vaguely sure. You have heard of kind of these creatures before. They're not born; they're made.
Oh,
It's like from what you know, creatures that have abnormalities due to the way they were born or inbreeding or just anything like that, where they are just born with parts missing. There are ways to replace those parts with animal parts instead.
Gross.
oh, okay.
Oh no.
You can see, well, there is a lot of fur on his face. The left side is completely covered with lizard scales. And instead of
Whoa.
having human ears, he has little panther ones on top of his head.
God, I think someone's been experimenting.
He does have a duck's webbed foot. That is a fact.
He
And his
does only
arms have
one, that's
patches
right.
of black dog fur.
Oh, as we move closer and get close,
Oh,
assuming
no.
nothing else happens, I'm just gonna say, "Hello there. Are you also a fellow bugbear?"
How sweet.
It looks like a bugbear to me.
He
He's
kind
like,
of does.
how tall is he? Like 3-4 foot? The little guy?
He's around 4 feet, but he is hunched over though.
Aw.
That is
You're
visible.
a small bugbear.
He will kind of like lean backwards. You hear a lot of shuffling as all of these things that are kind of like tied to his back kind of clink and clank as things are moving around in boxes and wood is bumping into each other. And he looks up to you and he has these two golden eyes. And he says, "No, ain't no bugbear here. I'm supposed to meet a bugbear."
That's me. I raise my hand.
Oh, he also raises his hand. He doesn't understand what you're doing.
Dax was sort of got himself ready and like using Bardcraft, like amplify his nervous voice a little bit. And we four are to meet for a feast with Strahd von Zarovich. I assume we've arrived at the right location. I believe we had invitations, though they've changed their words since then.
He turns around and he looks up at the castle, and then turns back to you. "Well, you can't miss it. It's kind of hard to not see. But I'm supposed to meet 4. So, 1, 4.
That's us! Dax gives a sort of little court bow, and then,
I will follow. I will follow in.
and then follows Togok.
All right. You guys head in past the courtyard and through these double front doors.
Mm.
Let me find it. All right. You head in through the ornate outer doors of the castle. The doors in front lead to another set of double doors, roughly 20 feet forward. Inside this hallway, above you, is a very worn out fresco that is impossible to make out. But these new double doors are also opened. It's kind of like the part in stores where you're supposed to wipe your feet.
Mm.
There's a marble floor. You can kind of hear the squeaks and squicks as you make your way inside. And he takes you to a very grand room. Off to the left are these very magnificent, very large steps that go up as far as you can see. And he leads you off to the right. And immediately you can smell the food just right away. You can also hear very distant orchestra music. Sounds muffled, as though it is through walls, through a closed doorway.
Nice.
The hallways are all lit. This strange man that you've met leads you off to that right path, and you see another set of very, very large double doors that look difficult to open. It'd be very heavy. But as soon as this individual gets to that doorway, you see them just very slowly open to a much brighter room. The light spills out into the hallway. You see 3 enormous crystal chandeliers brilliantly illuminate this magnificent chamber. Pillars of stone stand against dull white marble walls supporting the ceiling, In the center of the room, a long, heavy table is centered with fine satin cloth. The table is laden with many delectable foods: roasted beast, basted in savory sauce, roots and herbs of every taste. The sweet fruits and vegetables. Places are set for each of you, with fine, delicate china and silver. At each place is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid, with a delicate, tantalizing fragrance. You can still see the moisture on the sides of the cup, as if it was just poured. At the center of the far west wall, between floor to ceiling mirrors, stands a massive organ. Its pipes blare out a thunderous melody that speaks in its tone of greatness and despair. Seated at the organ, facing away from you, a single caped figure pounds the keys in raptured ecstasy. The figure suddenly stops, and as a deep silence falls over the dining hall, it slowly looks towards you, and just before its face is visible, it fades from existence.
Dax very awkwardly sort of does a little clap of the organ player. Is there an indication of which seat is for who?
Talwork sits down. He doesn't care.
I will take you to the map. You will sit wherever you wish.
Dax is looking for a little name tag. Oh my god.
We're here, baby. It's beautiful.
Sit as close to the exit.
Assuming that this top seat is like the head of the table, where presumably Strahd would sit.
I'm assuming.
This one or that one?
No, I think it's this one.
The far one.
Yeah, I think this is where he'll sit. So I'm gonna strategically sit here.
Okay.
I'm close to the door, but not suspiciously close to the door.
You guys have sit.
You guys are bold.
No, I've just got Togok between me and where I think Strahd is going to be. That is my entire plan.
Where's Phaedra? Phaedra's at the other end of the table. Phaedra's about to be the new bride of Strahd.
Dax sort of
Oh,
looks
is that
over
the
towards-
implication?
Yeah.
Dax sort of looks over to Phaedra
I'll sit
sitting
here
over there
then.
and is like, you might miss bits if you sit all the way over there.
Yeah, I'll come closer to you guys. But I was looking at
Bonk.
this.
Does Bonk sit down?
Yeah, where's
Oh, yeah,
can Bonk sit right here?
A very own personal golem.
You do realize
Yeah.
that he is a sacrifice at this point, right?
Oh no, I think he's gonna outlive us all.
He's a horrible little creature.
That is optimistic.
We don't even know the point of Bonk yet. He might be here to
We
kill us at the
don't.
end.
He could be Strahd
The
all along.
point.
Bonkus Strahd.
Incredible gambit.
His face is good
He's gonna
for diffusing the
Slammer in right there.
Okay.
It just sits between them on the floor.
I motion for the seat.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks at you for a moment, kind of looks around, sees that nobody's there, and he makes his way over with these very long arms.
Thank
He yanks
you.
himself upwards. You cannot
Gonna make
see
us look bad.
above the table.
How tall are the chairs?
Can't see the table.
How tall is Bonk?
No, how
Or
tall
the
are the
table.
chairs?
The chairs?
Yeah, can Dax see?
Yeah, Dax can
That's
see.
a great question.
I'm 3 foot.
Yeah. Bonk is
littler.
like
Okay.
1 3/4.
But I could get on the chair.
It's very small. Yeah.
There's
yeah,
a little ladder for you.
No, yeah, Dax is
Little
quite
steps.
proud of this. He sort of he pushes himself up to like waist height and then spins himself and sits down. He's used to chairs that are too big for him. I'm just making sure I can see the table. Sort of.
With my history of robbing from the rich to give to just my family, can I tell if this china and finery is it real?
Yeah. Give me an investigation check with advantage.
Oh, thank God.
Togok,
Phrasing.
That's a 13.
What?
can you slide my
Yeah.
drink closer?
You don't know its exact
Slide it
value,
closer.
but you do know that it is very valuable.
Very valuable. Wow. I mean, I'm not gonna risk stealing it, but it's good to know that it is the real stuff.
I'd like to reach for this
Uh,
amber goblet.
I
Yeah.
thought it
Ooh,
was
take a
wine
sip.
glasses we had.
It was goblets full of amber liquid.
Oh, okay.
How does it smell?
Can I?
Yeah. As you
Sorry.
smell it, it smells very sweet, and it is cold.
I'll take a sip.
Yum.
See if I die.
And just a hint of iron.
As you all
Uh,
take your seats in the
I'm
central
gonna
room.
send my familiar like up into the high ceiling area just to perch somewhere and get an
Okay.
aerial view of the room.
Phaedra, as you look up, you do see that there are rafters that kind of like are
Perfect.
just strewn
Yeah.
everywhere up above.
Yeah, she'll sit right up there.
And while it's up there in the darkness, you do see kind of like a glimmer of light as the
Ooh.
candlelight kind of reflects off the silver feathers.
Goodness. Do something about this non-stealthy bird anymore.
You all have your seats. You see the man that brought you in kind of just like grumble a little bit, and he raises his arm. And he exits. And you are left
Yep.
alone for the moment.
Bye.
Great.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab something else. I'm gonna grab like I'm assuming there's like nice like meat somewhere, like a plate of meat or like
Heck yeah.
not alive, a dead like a full pig or something like that. I'm just gonna start grabbing some food and start eating.
All right. Just immediately, it
Teleport.
is the best thing you've eaten in
Wow.
this village or this valley.
I've been waiting all week for this food.
We've only been with you 2 days.
I've been waiting 2 days for this. Yes, that is exactly until work right now.
Raziel
very
isn't-
delicately takes like a grape, a piece of potato.
Here, Dax, try this. I'm just gonna just like shove with my hand a piece of meat onto your plate.
Okay.
Dude.
Try this.
I very delicately with the cutlery sort of cut it up into a small chunk and sort of. It's lovely.
And it is very tender. It almost melts in your mouth.
Yum.
My goodness.
Just
What
double
kind of
check
meat this
that
is, Dax?
it does taste like some sort of meat I recognize, right? It's not Irene 3 or
It
something.
tastes like horse.
Oh no.
Nah, I'm just joking, Dax.
As long as it doesn't taste like us, I don't really care.
Raziel isn't touching any of the food or drink. He's very politely sat there and is, sat up straight and all of that stuff, but he's not going near anything.
Okay.
I'm not eating either.
Alrighty.
But for different reasons.
No, while they're eating, I'll probably just start wandering around the room looking at the decor. Just like, like a bored kid at a dinner party. Just looking around at all the shit.
Yeah, and everything is extravagant. The fireplace is roaring. Everything has red velvets or
Goodness.
newness to it. And after a few minutes, you do hear multiple clicks of shoes on marble. And there are 4 individuals that walk into the room. None of which is the one that you were expecting.
Goodness. Other guests?
There are 3 women and a man. There's a black woman with perfect makeup, perfect hair. She seems to take a lot of care with her appearance. Some of the makeup almost seems to shimmer. There's another woman dressed fully in red. Completely. And she already has a wine glass with her. Mostly empty. Immediately, she eyes each of you There's almost a look of disgust on her face.
I get it.
There's another
Dax gives her
woman
a
with
tiny little awkward wave. Sticks a piece of chicken in his mouth.
long black hair, and on her face, almost attached to it, looks like a skull of some creature that kind of just covers the top half of her face. You see that two purple eyes kind of pierce through where the eye sockets are. And there's a man with dirty blonde hair, and he looks excited. He is dressed completely in purples and blacks and teals. And right away, he just shoulder checks the woman in front of him and just moves up as far as he can to the seat that is furthest away. All the way up here, taking your seat picture.
I love that.
Believable.
We just had Josh laugh from the other room.
You know what they say: move your feet, lose your seat.
That's fine.
As he sits
I'm
down,
used
I'll
to
sort of-
this.
Good evening.
Who do you look to when you say this?
The dapper fellow opposite me.
Ah, all right.
Daxton Silvertongue. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Oh, dear. Hi. You seem quite the charming individual, and all these sort, you seem to take the most care of yourself. I love your hair. The amber color, how well it is taken care of. It almost seems like you just styled it. And it's raining outside, which is crazy.
Thank you. Dax will sort of flick his hair a little bit of prestidigitation going on just to check if he's and then I sort of I look at him and then I look slightly to the right and look at Togok. And, you're quite the charmer yourself. Are you familiar with the others? And then I'll turn to the lady next to me and sort of give a little nod. And Daxton Silvertongue, at your service.
He will kind of point over to the one with the skull mask on her face. He will say, "Oh, that there is Valenta. She is the newest. She's just
Just
watch your
what?
fingers. Just watch your fingers.
Hmm.
She bites."
Okay.
The one at the end of the table is Anastasia. She's not the friendliest of sorts,
A pleasure.
and
I'll raise my glass.
she has finished her glass that she has in her hand, and she is starting the one that is on the table in front of her already.
Good
She has
lass.
not said a single word on purpose. And then, of course, Ludmilla. She is my bestie, my best friend.
Oh.
And then he gives her like a little wave, and she does one back.
Oh, and
Of the ones here, she takes the best care of herself, and it shows.
yes, stylish.
Yes.
Did you receive a letter bringing you here, or
Oh, no,
are you regulars?
we live here.
Oh,
No,
wonderful.
we live here.
And you mentioned that she bites, and then Jack sort of flushes ever so slightly, a little embarrassed, and looks over. Do you bite?
Ooh.
She almost like snaps as she looks at you, and you can see that she is gnawing on her finger.
Yeah, I'm actually
Like,
asking
visibly
him if he
bleeding.
bites.
Oh, you're asking him? He will say, only if you would like me to.
Are you all vampires?
My partner here is an absolute gentleman
Oh.
of subtlety.
We wish. We are spawn. Kind of, we still get a lot of the perks from it.
So Valenta's a new, recent one.
Yes, she is. I'd ask her to speak for herself, but she has a mouthful already. And she will mumble out, "He's right." And then you see the blood kind of like drip onto the plate that's in front of her.
Dax shuffles
Did
a little
this-
closer to Togok.
Did this guy introduce himself yet? What was his name?
He didn't get his
Oh,
name.
right. I am Esther.
Good enough.
Sure.
Esther.
Sure.
Esther.
Alright, sure. You down there, Anastasia. Asia. Alright, what is that? One of those.
Yeah.
Hello. Do you speak?
I do. Although I feel there is little to gain from speaking with whatever you are. I see you are
Wow.
more.
You'll change your mind about that soon.
I hope so.
Togok here is a fine, ebullient, and dashing gentleman. You just have to get to know him.
So, I see you are drinking your wine very quick. Is that actually wine, or is this blood?
He kind of looks at you for a moment. You understand that we are vampire spawn? You know what
Yes.
vampires drink?
Yep.
1 + 1 = 2.
This one doesn't
Is it-
taste like blood.
Did you drink it?
Mm.
You're the one out of us who
I've
drank
already
it.
had a few mouthfuls. You said it smelled sweet. It was amber nectar. Blood's
Yours
not
is
amber.
very clearly not blood.
Oh,
100%. It is not.
oh. How did you? Well, what if I had have sat over there? I did. Dax takes
I
like a
suppose you would
massive
have blood.
gulp of his amber liquid, like. Then just
Mm.
Oh,
watches
sorry, I have to
Frederick.
introduce you. Bonk. I'm gonna gesture to Bonk.
Yeah, Bog.
He is just here to observe us. Don't worry about him.
Ludmilla, which is this woman here,
Ludmilla.
will kind of like stand up in her chair to kind of like look over the table, and she can just barely see the top of his bald head and his 2 little ears pointing up. Oh,
mind.
yes. We know of him. A lot of
Fantastic.
adventures don't get past the bridge because of him.
Because
Because of him. He didn't do anything to us.
If we hadn't asked
Keeps
him
a
a
lot of the
question, would he have like
company
eaten us or something? Who knows?
Anyways, who was that playing the organ before / piano / the orchestra?
Oh, yes. More than likely just an illusion from Strahd. It's a
Well, if
greeting, I suppose.
he needs a good musician, I know one, and I'm gonna. Dax.
You're offering up Dax?
As a musician, if he needs good music.
I'll subtly use Bodcraft to have it play like a little gothic lute to the side, and well, I provide a little light entertainment occasionally. Though I understand that the nature of this feast, we're more likely to be the entertainment than provide it.
I'm gonna whisper to Dax. See, I'm just showing how useful you can be.
Yes, because I can't wait to spend eternity entertaining vampires. I'd sort of give a very dramatic court whisper. Phaedra, are you okay?
Yeah, Phaedra's just kind of standing off to the side, arms folded, eyeballing all of these folks. But I will speak up and say, do you know why the 4 of us were summoned to this dinner?
The more talkative one, the man, will kind of be like, he almost seems to get scared because he didn't notice that you were there. Just like in this kind of like shadowed corner, just where the light
yeah,
is
I'm tucked
invisible.
away.
He's like, I love your skin, from what I can see. Uh, but yes, usually
I-
Strahd explains that part.
Oh, so he will be joining
bring him back.
us.
Yes, of course.
Do you know when?
Very well.
Should be any moment now.
I'll take a seat.
I suppose he's waiting for us all to introduce ourselves.
Did Raziel tell us about Strahd or no? You didn't tell us, right?
Oh,
Didn't say anything.
About what?
About like your encounter with Strahd, like in that little.
I
Area.
told you guys that. Oh God, what did I tell you? I think I told you I was attacked by him. It was pretty obvious, but I didn't. I
I
didn't
don't
show.
think you told us.
Raziel
I
was
did, but I
unconscious.
didn't show you the bite mark on my neck. I made it very explicit that I didn't
Oh yeah,
show
because we
you
found
guys
you
that.
unconscious in the woods or whatever.
Yes, I
Wait,
told
oh
you
yeah,
guys
we
that
did.
it was. I told you guys it was Strahd. But I definitely didn't show the bite mark or anything.
Dax, in the process of healing, you kind of was very careful not to intervene with the area of blood and like not to invade your privacy. He made his assumptions about what had happened, but there was definitively no proof, and he was quite careful to make sure nobody else saw anything. But you haven't introduced yourself at the table. I'll sort of motion to Raziel, and Raziel, are you going to introduce yourself?
I'll kind of, like very quickly, look at each of them, before announcing my name and then like ever so slightly nodding, but I don't really say much else than that.
All right. As you finish your introduction, there is a small tink as the woman with the skull face, Valenta, has gnawed through her finger,
Oh,
and
cool.
just the end part just falls onto her plate.
Hmm.
You see,
I'm
kind of
watching
like
this with like a stoic expression.
it looks like a tiny little, almost like sausage with just sauce around it.
Gross.
Is that gonna grow back?
She kind of has to lean forward over the table to see you, and she nods very vigorously.
Oh shit! Really?
Yes.
That was a rhetorical question.
There's plenty of other food to go round.
Yeah. It is very notable that none of them are eating yet.
That's because they're going to eat us.
That's a good question. Why are none of you eating?
You see that Valenta is just staring at you, just like she's looking just directly into your soul.
The fuck's your problem?
Ah!
And Ludmilla will kind of gesture, kind of like put her hand up a little bit. Usually we wait until the master arrives.
Oh, sorry. I was just I've been waiting days for this meal and I'm hungry.
Dax sort of uses a serviette to sort of wipe his food into the serviette like pile, and he sort of like slides it down into a pocket so that the plate looks empty, and then he starts sort of like prestidigitating the plate to make it look like it was empty, as if I hadn't eaten. Oh, okay.
All right. A few more moments go by, and then there is a very loud boom outside. And all of the windows, the glass breaks inwards. And the rushing wind extinguishes all of the candles. And you are left in a dark dining room. The organ begins to play again. There's no one at it. Those of you with dark vision can make out the embers in the fireplace. Other than that, there are just glowing eyes strewn about the table where each one of the vampire spawn are. Like neon lights just in pitch blackness. All that you have is the moonlight that is shining through these windows as the curtains are bellowing inwards. The whoosh of the wind pouring in, the clatter of the dining set. And even that begins to darken.
I'm gonna close my eyes and just steady my breathing before opening them again as all this has happened.
Okay.
Dax is cowering next to Togok's chair. On the floor. Like crouched down like this.
Okay.
I
The
see
lights-
is like the edge of his breeches or something, like hold on to them with a trembling hand.
Ooh.
The light from the windows only gives off moonlight. But very slowly, even that begins to darken, as you begin to hear hundreds of little flapping wings. They begin to pour in through the windows, like blackout curtains. And in this darkness, they are just flooding the room. You can feel their wings just barely touch the back of your neck, the top of your head. You can hear some of the dining sets just begin to shudder just a little bit as they fly by. Hundreds and hundreds of them just begin to swarm in, to the point where even those of you with dark vision just see blackness. Almost as if they are just a mist. And then by the drones, they begin to move up to the ceiling where the rafters are. And eventually, they all hang down like hundreds of tiny black spikes that just coat the ceiling. One by one, the candlelights begin to light back up. Just a very faint orange glow through the room. And at the end of the table, one leg crossed over the other, his hands clasped together, shining yellow eyes, black hair, a black mantle over his shoulders. That same outdated noble garb. You remember, Reziel. And the very first thing he looks at is you. And it's almost as if just within the 5 feet that you're sitting, the temperature just seems to drop a few more degrees. You can see the moisture just on your silverware in your cup just begin to just ice over for a moment before it all comes back.
I don't think my eyes from this moment will ever not be on Strahd at any point.
He very slowly grabs the glass that's in front of him, and he holds it up, looking to you all in the room. You see that his eyes never connect with anyone that isn't in your party. Kind of just seems to skip over them. And he says, "Oh, welcome to the feast. I will say that you all came just when expected." He looks expectantly at everyone at the table.
Dax climbs back
And
onto his
says-
chair.
I sit up, like kind of like waiting for him to sit down, and then I'll sit back down.
Oh wow, Togok's polite to the host.
My hand
I
out
think
across the
he's-
table to shake his hand, though.
Ah,
I'll take it or not, but
oh, he does reach over, and he shakes your hand. His hands
It-
seem very soft.
Nice.
It's an honor to meet you. I've been waiting a long time for this.
Oh. Yes, it is a pleasure to meet you, Togork. I know of your ferocity, your tenacity. Those werewolves. Oof. Watching that one just fold in half over your weapon, the crack, was just delightful.
Oh, you were watching.
Oh, of course.
I'm gonna
When
hold up my
damn is-
weapon.
Well,
This thing's a beauty here.
do you wash your weapon at all?
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
No.
You will see the stains that are on it. And he looks pleased. He looks happy. See the grin kind of creep across his face to the point where you can see one of his fangs. And then he quickly looks over to Bonk, sitting in the chair.
Bonk, seated at his right hand.
I know.
Trying his best to peek over. He will say, "Oh, it is Bonk."
Oh, he knows Bonk.
Yes. How are you doing, friend? Still meeting all of the new adventurers before they come to my door? He does a quick nod and then just like reaches over and pulls one of the large plates that has most of the stuff on it just towards himself. He says, "Come on. What of the rest of you? Daxton Silvertongue?"
Hi, sir.
Not the charm I was expecting.
A pleasure to meet you. The entrance was a little captivating. I just settling my nerves, and then Dax sort of reaches over and takes a huge gulp of the amber liquid, and just sort of. Pleasure to meet you, I'm sure.
It is a pleasure to meet all of you. But know this, you do not need to be afraid. You are under my protection for as long as this dinner continues.
I'll be sure to keep some room for dessert.
What about after dinner?
Don't ask that.
Oh, I assure you there will be desserts. Raziel, you see him kind of look at you for just a moment.
Oh no.
I think like Raziel's like facial expression. You know, like how do I explain this? You know, like I don't know. Like in a cartoon or anime or something like that, when someone says that, like their eyebrows go like that a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Aww.
Like
Yes.
it's ever so slightly like curved like that, almost like his face doesn't really give it away, but his eyes are kind of like pleading for mercy, but it's not like like super readable. But it's the ever so hint of his eyebrows like curving ever so slightly inwards.
Raziel? Why don't we formally introduce each other? I am Strahd von Zarovich. And you?
Yeah. You already know my name, Strahd.
What?
I mean, he did just say it, Matt.
No.
Dax sort of looks there at over and goes, "What?"
They know each other.
I don't think they do. And then I just sort of pat the table near his arm, because knowing that touching him is not a good idea.
Were you pleased with it? My gift that I left you.
What exactly did you leave for me?
Okay, they
I
do
don't
know each other.
understand it.
It is the truth to an old secret. What is the one question you've had since you were a child? So small, so fragile.
There's no way you could know. This look, Raziel's face, kind of drops at the he just remembering, those times as a kid, and it's kind of a panic in his voice when he speaks. What do you know?
Oh, I know that it is not too late, Raziel. Not too late to get your answers. And perhaps more.
If you know something, then tell me. Enough
Oh.
of your riddles.
There's no fun in that. It is your secret to uncover, not mine. I know facts of you all. I do not know your emotions, your feelings, your opinions on the world. I only know what you've been through. What you can hear secondhand by any individual that you walk by. I know to watch my silverware. I know to watch my treasures, my secrets. And I know why you want them. But if you steal them here and are unable to leave, how do you help your poor mother?
Don't speak about my mother.
Well, you will take pleasure in knowing that she is far beyond my reach. And I had nothing to do with that secret you hold. The one you want oh so answered in your heart. I just know of a way you can come to understanding it. I offer a gift. There is no malice in it.
Raziel jaw clenches and tightens, and his hand is hovering over his dagger. But the in the back of his mind, he's still remembering. Even though he's so angry and everything of these mind games and wordplay and all of that stuff, he still remembers that night when Strahd attacks him, and that fear is the only thing that's stopping him from reacting right now. He's really trying to control himself.
But alas, I sour the mood. What of you, Phaedra? I know of whom you follow, and I know she does not like me very much, or any of my kind here.
Yeah, so Phaedra has been sitting stone-faced, not looking over at Strahd until he addresses her. She's got she is strongly gripping like her knees. Like she's always hunched over, bad posture, but she's just like very strongly got a grip on her knees, and then looks over at him. And yes, my mother doesn't care for creatures like you. And she kind of looks around the room. She says, I wondered why I'd been sent here. I think it's becoming clear.
I do not want
Is
to
it?
talk about our misgivings. I want you to boast of yourself. What accomplishments have you had? What are you proud of?
Nothing to be proud of in my life. I see others' misery and I do nothing to help. And I watch and I wait and I feed on their pain. Not too different from yourself, I imagine.
That
Nothing
is
to be
correct.
proud of here.
Oh, but I am very proud of what I have overcome. I have taken armies to battle. I have been victorious. I have become immortal. I have gained land and victory. I have a castle. I am very proud of what I have. But being a wizard, studying an arcane, that is extremely difficult.
Well, I've always heard that pride comes before a fall. I will live in humility.
Ah, I see. It takes a lot to understand sadness and despair, all of the negative feelings that people oh so avoid. They wish to get away from pain, agony. When a loved one dies, they mourn. They do not see the future. They see all of their days as limited. They do not take the advance, the initiative. But you, not only do you see past it, but you revel in it. It gives you strength.
It's not the strength I would have chosen, but it's what I have. And I'll use it as I am meant to. And then she, makes eye contact with him for the first time, probably.
And his eyes meet yours, and you see these dull yellow eyes, almost golden. He exclaims, "What exactly made you like this? Were you born this way? Or did your queen reach out to you?"
My path was decided long before my birth. Yes, I was always going to be pledged to my queen.
What life is that? To be set on one path, not seeing any of the others, not seeing what you could become.
I can't say I've ever thought about another path.
What if you were in my position? You had this castle, you had these consorts, you had this land and its people. You could mold it and shape it into any way that you want. to your liking. I have a strange feeling that it would not be so different. There would be melancholy, sadness, despair, fear. But you see me as the enemy.
I am nothing like you. I see nothing but despair, and if I had the power to change something, I would. But everything I see is predetermined.
Perhaps we will see. In time. We will turn over to you, Togork. He gives you a smile. You seem the most jovial here. The most talkative. He says, and what of you? You know strength. You know ambition.
Yeah, know all that. What would you like to know?
What did you come here for?
Came here for the greatest riches and treasures I could find. Anyone better to go to than Strahd himself?
And if you were in my position, trapped here in these lands, would you still want that? A finite amount to conquer, a finite amount to strengthen yourself.
You can always get stronger.
You can kill everyone in this valley. A finite amount of souls. But then what? Every creature living in its swamps. Every monster swinging from the forest trees. Every man, woman, and child from the villages. At what point does that end for you?
Huh. Thought that far. I guess I just keep going until I can't go anymore. I will never stop unless I'm dead. And I don't think that's possible.
And if you were to be immortal,
Mm.
nothing would stop you.
Nope. If I was immortal, then I'd be going straight towards godhood.
Even if you are unbound, unlocked, we both know your potential will never be at its max. We both know there is a part of you that will always be missing. And you see that he is just looking you in the eyes when he says that. And he holds up his glass, kind of like swirls it around. You see the dark red color kind of staining the outside for just a moment. What if I told you that missing piece was here?
What's missing? I don't know what's missing. Tolbert's gonna like look around his body to see if he lost something.
He will reach into underneath his jacket pocket, and he will pull out what looks like a thin hockey puck that looks like it's made out of mostly melted black metal. It's not smooth. Some parts are like kind of bubbled a little bit. And he holds it up to you. Do you know what this is?
It looks like a jar. something in it. Sorry, no, I don't know what that is.
That would be correct. Almost. If it were not empty.
Oh,
This is the equivalent of a soul coin. But it is beaten, malformed, misshapen. Because you do not make your deals with devils. There is no contract, no written agreement. There's no structure. You make your deal with something incomprehensible. From another plane entirely. They do not deal in wholes. Do you even know what you are missing? What emotions you cannot feel? What ambitions you cannot see? What memories you've lost? Or even the horror of it being torn from you?
I do not know what I am missing. No.
Togurk's perfect.
Can you help me find it?
Just to be clear, is this Togork not knowing or Matt not knowing?
No, this is fully Togork saying, "What am I missing?"
Okay. Okay. You're very convincing. He will put the briefest of pressure onto this large black coin-like thing, and it just crumples into ash and falls apart in his hand. It was messy. It was troublesome. But I've made a deal. Many whole souls for your part. Unfortunately, in the ways of the Dark Ones, in these lands in the mists, your soul has entered another. There is someone who walks these very lands with your other self.
Oh, I know what I'm missing now. You're talking about my id form and my ego form. I know. My soul is fractured, yes.
Yes. When you find it, be it some monster in a forest, a hag in some swamp, or a child, do you have the gall to take it back, to rip it from them? It is yours.
But I gave it up willingly. To
There are
become
those
stronger.
born. There are those born into this world. It could be an infant.
You're saying an infant might be born with the part of my soul that is no longer within me? And that I could take it back?
It would be so easy.
Huh. Could become even more powerful. I could get my whole full soul back and still be fractured.
But what if what was offered? That other you inside? At what point would that part of you surpass the one I talk to, the one I see? If he was stronger, if he could take more from the world, would you allow him to take full control of yourself?
I don't think it's part of the deal. I don't think I can take full control of myself. So I'm not worried about that.
But do you know for sure Was there ever an instance where you might have blinked an extra second? A moment stolen from you?
Oh no, did I blink too much?
Time that you saw as just sleeping just a little bit more. The feeling pulled out of you when you rage. Almost as if it's just... almost not by choice.
So you're saying if the rage just starts happening, not when I want it to happen? Huh.
If you got this other piece of you, perhaps it would.
Ah.
It too would get stronger. At what point is it stronger than yourself?
But it's all a part of me.
Hmm?
So no matter what, it'll just be me that is super strong.
That is admirable. One body. You have strength. But do you have the mind?
Yes, I have the strength.
Hmm.
Not what he asked.
Mr. Strahd?
We will move forward to you, Dax.
Mr.
Even
Zarovich,
Strahd doesn't know how to respond to that.
Mr. Zarovich, Strahd, sir, I couldn't help but notice you said that you were trapped here.
Yes.
If you cannot leave, does that not mean that you don't know how anyone else can leave?
Oh, there are those that I allow to leave the mist to other planes.
Oh, but you can't
I
leave
myself
yourself?
cannot.
Oh, that must be awful. I'm so sorry for you.
It is. My life is to conquer. It is to take.
Oh,
There's nothing more for me here.
that could be.
I look... What would that be?
I don't know. Everybody finds fulfillment in their own ways, right? I give him this awkward smile, like... I don't know what would make you most happy, but... maybe a little less rain.
I have won my battles. I have taken my land. Liberated it. I have those under me. Those I look down upon. I have a castle.
You do. It's a lovely castle.
I have many spies all across these lands. Droves of undead. An army.
Yeah.
I have many consorts. And he gestures to the rest of those at the table. Some look more eager than others.
You do. That's that's why you don't need us, right? Because we there's no inheritance, right? I know this was a
Oh,
clever-
but there is.
I
There is everything. Land, power, riches.
why? It's all yours. Why would you give it away?
I am proud. But I look for a successor.
Oh,
Until that point, I cannot leave.
I don't want to be a successor. I just want to go home. So
Until that point, you cannot leave.
shit.
If one of you do not take this, if one of you are not worthy to take this, in my eyes, none of you may leave.
So you're saying if Togo gets his fractured thingy back, I can go home?
What does that have to
one
do
of
with this?
You could be the successor.
Don't worry about it, Togor.
I didn't say I don't want that.
Oh,
Oh.
my bad. He sort of looks around the table looking for anyone but him.
Strahd, I have the perfect follow up to
not the time for
replace you
bunk.
one day. I will, in fact, point to Bonk.
Stupid.
I'll turn to Togok and how can you compare such mediocrity to such magnificence?
Oh my goodness.
Strahd's successor must be someone strong and powerful and charming and dashing and ruthless and powerful and
So none of us.
it could be one of us, but it is not me. I just want to go home.
You see all the bones on the bridge? Got there.
There.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just lacking in the charming and handsome department.
Lord Blanc and flaps at Bonk.
Bonk plays his part. He enjoys what he does. And he kind of chimes up. It's true. I love it.
Go him.
So theoretically, let's say one of us takes your place
Not
as
me.
the new whatever Barovia or whatever, live in this castle, whatever you want us to do. What will you do?
I will leave. I will go to Faerun. And I will...
Wait a second. Are we in Faerun right now?
Oh, you are not.
Huh?
He looks
Isn't Barovia
surprised.
part
that
of
you
Isn't
didn't know
Barovia in Faerun?
that.
No,
Shit. Well,
Togor.
that's
It
also
used
out
to
of
be.
character.
It used to be.
I don't know very
Oh
much.
man,
I don't know the.
we're on like a whole separate plane of existence right now.
No. Togo's like, where are we?
I thought Faerun was the name of like the entire world of the
It
Forgotten
is,
Realms.
and we're on a different plane of existence.
What? What the hell are we?
Barovia.
That's in a character. But what? I'm so confused. What is Barovia?
Think
That's a
of
great
it.
question.
Think,
and you're
think
staying
of
in character.
think of Faerun like a plane of existence, and then think of Barovia like its own little bubble of existence.
So
That's
Barovia like
separate.
Mars and Faerun is Earth.
Yeah,
Different
think of it
planets.
like that.
It's more like the seventh layer of hell, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, think of it like that.
So is Barovia more of like the Feywild, like the Shadow Veil?
It's
compared
another
to...
one. It's another one of those. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
So how did we get here?
Carriage.
Magic.
On a carriage.
This is Strahd, Mr. Zarovich, sir. You're saying you called us here because you're seeking a successor?
I am? Yes.
What was wrong with the cool wizard guy in the sky? There were tales
are
of
you
you defeating him.
confused?
The wizard?
Ah, yes.
Would he not have been an adequate successor?
He was unwilling to have dinner, and I did not see him. I did not see his worth.
How rude. I understand your decision.
And now he rots at the bottom of some lake.
So we heard. If we were, sir, to politely decline your offer of inheriting your wondrous castle and all else besides, what would happen to us?
You would remain here until you die. Then your soul will take the form of another when they are born.
Oh,
You will live here. You will die here. Eventually, you will be like the Barovians beneath me.
what if theoretically one of us accepted that isn't me? What would happen to me?
It is not a matter of accepting.
Oh,
You must be worthy of it. At this point, none of you are.
I agree.
There's one
I
of you
am.
that serves an undead hating queen. Blasphemous. A heretic. A hypocrite. There's one that is not whole. There's one that has a good heart. Disgusting. Cherishes family. Will put anyone above yourself is a fault. To not have all of the answers. And then there is Daxton Silvertongue. You charm so many. But what do you own? Not even courage. You are a coward. You are weak. You hide. What do you have to offer? There is one who has followed you into these lands for the sole purpose of killing you. Become a paladin of vengeance. Just for you. You do not leave those loose ends.
Read someone
He looks
backstory.
almost insulted as he's talking to you, Dax.
Not James forgetting his backstory.
I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't have some fucking. Well, shit. Hi. They do call me Silvertongue for a reason. But my charm aside, you're right. It's all a facade. I don't offer a huge amount. No. Yeah, definitely right. You should consider one of the others. What's wrong with this dashing gentleman here? And I will gesture over towards Escher.
You see that he is a little nervous.
He's suave. He's got moves.
Strahd kind of looks
He likes
over
my
to
hair.
him. I was at some point here. I was in that very chair. With the same offer.
Oh fuck, I'm gonna be you. And then I'll look over to the one with the skeletal mask and go, it's Phaedra.
Well, that is if he likes you. And he kind of like looks nervously over to Strahd for a moment.
I'll look to him and everyone likes me.
Wait a bit.
Yeah, how do sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up? Go.
I was gonna ask, like, how do like the other like 3 ladies at the bottom, like how do they look? Like, are they like scared at all? Are they completely comfortable like throughout this entire conversation?
The one at the other end of the table, Anastasia, she looks very pleased that this is not going well. She is just gleeful watching people get upset with each other.
Oh, she's looking forward to dessert.
She
This bitch.
she is looking forward to whatever mess this becomes. Valentia, the one with the skull mask, is still just staring at you, Togwork. Just like staring into your eyes.
My goodness.
Ludmilla? Ludmilla? I don't know how to say her name. I have
You
to look it up.
decide. It's up to you.
Whatever's easiest.
Call her Letitia.
Ludi.
She's kind of just looking at everyone. Raziel, you notice that she's looking at the garb that you're wearing. That it's very well put together. She looks at you, Phaedra. Sees all of the color pairings, the hair, kind of just outlining the almost like grayish porcelain skin. Even the eye color.
Oh, she's making an outfit out of us? Lovely.
She looks at Togurt for like a quarter of a second.
His fashions are not.
And then you, Daxelton, she looks more at your features than your clothing. The hair on your face, the how you keep your hands, your fingernails, your hair. She seems to take note of a lot of it, and she looks very proper. Esther is just kind of waiting for just people to be happier. And he will kind of chime up. So Raziel, is it? How was your ride here?
Raziel doesn't say anything. He continues staring at Strahd. It's still that kind of mixture of anger and fear and just like the longing of wanting answers. So it's pretty much all mixed, but he definitely does not reply and does not stop staring at Strahd.
Okay. Valenta, very suddenly, her chair kind of falls backwards as she stands up. And she moves over to you, Togork.
I found the other part of my soul. It's in Valenta. I mean, all night long.
It was the mask all along.
Dex, she kind of like pushes into your chair. You kind of jolt forward for a
She?
moment.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Okay, hi. I look over.
She kind of like leans over you and talks to Togork. Togork. You look strong. Would you care to help?
Togork will flex.
Ah,
Help you with what?
yes. It seems that we are running out of wine. There's more in the cellar, but you seem the most capable to bring it up.
I'm gonna turn and look at Strahd. Bitch thinks I'm dumb. She's gonna go bite me when I go down there. Like, I say that like as if Strahd and I are best friends.
Not this day. Perhaps in the future. Not this night. If you wish. And she kind of like brushes up against your arm with her hand. You see her fingernails are all pointed and grinded to almost look like talons.
Alright, you want me to go help get this wine? I'll do it on one condition.
I'll come with you.
No. You don't come with me, Valenta. And I'll point, Anastasia, you have to come with me.
Uh-oh.
She's like mid drinking her wine and she laughs and it kind of like spurts up. No, I will not.
Okay, well.
You asking or telling me to is
I wasn't telling, I was asking. I'm not doing that for the only reason that this girl's weird.
Seeing that you are not moving, she just continues to stand there, very, just like in your personal space.
Strahd, what is the deal? Can you please explain?
She is the newest consort. I do not know.
Hey.
What makes her worthy of being in your castle right now? I don't see it.
The same tenacity that I see in you. Before she was my consort, she was beheading people in their homes. As bloody as they can be.
Shit.
As a
Dex
human,
shuffles even further away from her.
a human strike. With her very hands, just tearing them.
Can you, like, get her away from me, please? I don't like her. How about I compromise? So I'm gonna point to, I forget his name, the dude across. Mr. Raziel.
Okay.
What if he comes with me?
Escher?
Esther. What if Esther comes with
I'll
me?
come with you.
She can come too. And bring Bach. Why don't we bring Bach?
Okay,
Just
I
at
got
the
a smile.
table.
I'm completely relaxed now. I am not wanting to be at this table if Togork isn't here to protect me.
Do whatever you wish.
Great.
I'd like to go back to
Alright,
Neverwinter.
then I will sit down. I will sit down and continue eating.
See Esther almost get up for a moment and then just like kind of nervously sit back down. Like, oh, okay.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Does
I
it-
didn't. What was her name? The nut job with the skeletal mask. Is she
Valenta.
Valenta? Okay, cool.
Valenta.
Valenta.
Okay. Sorry, McKenna, go on.
No, yeah, Phaedra will just shuffle over
Okay.
around the table. Very slowly.
And also with a really wide berth. Nowhere near the table.
There we go.
Phaedra, when you get to this point, with your passive perception, you can smell almost like a sense of decay on her.
Gross.
Like dried, coagulated blood just somewhere.
Stinks. Stinks of undeath. Where's your cellar?
She kind of she takes one hand and kind of like digs it into her other. And then she very quickly looks over to you, Phaedra. Just fine. Fine. Follow. And then on all fours, she just starts bounding towards the door.
You see Dax like
God.
visibly sigh with relief.
Gross.
Strahd, does Phaedra have permission to attack? Because this is a strange one. I'm kind of questioning why I'm here now after seeing this thing.
No one has permission to bite anyone.
No, not bite. Attack. We don't bite.
Attack, kill, harm,
No
nothing.
attacks.
No, but what if Valenta breaks the rule and tries to attack first?
She cannot. She's a vampire spawn. She does what I tell her to.
You have actual control over her.
Absolute.
Awesome. Maybe I do want this job.
He kind of just like puts his arms out like, yeah, he's very.
Mr. Zarovich, Strahd, sir. Why us?
Oh, it is not just you. I have lost count of the amount of dinners
I am
I've had.
sure, but you didn't invite my cousin Frederick. Why us?
I am not the one who sends those letters. It is my Vistani.
Oh my god.
Ah,
They
None of
were your
that
carriage,
over.
right? All right, Phaedra, you follow Valenta.
Yep.
Straight out this doorway, across the hall, is a cylindrical staircase that goes up and down. And she begins heading downwards. You hear the scratching as she is just grinding her nails against the stonework. There's no light, but you've got your dark vision. Everything looks clean and dry. And as you slowly head downwards, it leads to a wine cellar. You can smell it in the air. It is very heavy. But as you reach the bottom, and you see all of the casks, you see that there are two strung up bodies. The blood slowly dripping down them into buckets. There's a man and a woman. The man is completely unrecognizable. He has been almost torn apart. You can smell the blood in the buckets. One of them is almost completely full. But the woman, you almost recognize her. She matches the description that Mad Mary gave you.
Oh god. Was her daughter a kid or an adult woman?
Mad Mary barely knew.
Okay, so it was.
You know, it was somewhere
unclear.
around like 1920-ish.
Got it.
Somewhere around there.
Oh my god. Are they super dead?
They are very dead.
Oh boy. Well, I'm not gonna let her see me react to that.
Mhm.
But,
She,
Valenta, that was her
she-
name.
Valenta.
I will say, how long ago did you join this little family of Strahds?
Weeks, months,
Mm,
days. Definitely not
no.
seconds or minutes. Maybe hours.
All right. So she's probably pretty weak. Phaedra says internally.
She kind of,
Basically, I'm sizing this place up.
Oh, okay. But yeah, she doesn't look anything. She's not built. You don't see that she's muscular. She looks very thin in her frame.
Uh-huh. Okay. Is this what you wanted? I would motion to like the buckets of blood. Is that what she wanted me to grab, or does she actually want wine?
She does kind of like lock eyes with it, but she kind of taps on a cask that's behind her,
Oh,
and it does look like it weighs about 60-70 pounds. It is full with liquid.
cask of Amontillado. All right.
Oh, I know what that is. That's from Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, she's gonna board me up in here. Well, I have a 12 strength, which is, not horrible.
Phaedra, give me
Yeah.
give me an athletics check as you try to pick this up.
Okay.
She's
Let's do
not
this.
helping you
I didn't think she would.
at all.
Oh. Athletics?
Mhm.
12.
Okay, 12 isn't bad. That's still pretty good. You are
Oh,
just
yeah.
barely able to lift it, but you are very slow in moving it.
That's fine. I want to waste her time.
And as you were just slowly moving there, you see her go to where the stairs are, and then come back to you, and then just walk back up to the stairs, and then walk back to you.
Oh, okay. So she keeps coming back to just flex on how fast she can move, not carrying this thing. All right.
It seems that way.
That's fine. That's fine. Yep, I will shuffle this thing as best I can.
The cylindrical stairs is very difficult.
I was gonna
But
say, those
eventually,
stairs cannot be easy.
Eventually, you do make it up there.
Yep.
And you all see Phaedra and Valenta return. Valenta is missing another finger.
Oh my god.
You don't know where it was left,
Had nothing
but there are
to
now
do
two
with that.
missing. He's going to scabber back over. At this point, you do notice that none of them have eaten yet. All of their plates have been completely bare.
They
It's
don't.
been maybe a half hour at this point. And at some point, Zarovich is kind of going to briefly stand up and raise his glass. Ah, but you came here for a feast. And he picks up a steak knife, kind of drags it across the table, tinks it into his glass, and you see the double doors slowly open. And within a sense of deja vu, you see a familiar face. Two familiar faces.
Uh-oh.
Rahadin
Oh no!
dragging Ismark by the neck.
Oh no is right. Oh shit.
He is still alive.
Yeah.
He is
Right.
struggling, but very bloody. And he is just pulling him into the room. You see Ismark is kicking, but unable to speak, as Rahadin has him by the throat.
Dax will speak
I
up
knew
quite
he
bravely.
wasn't gonna make it.
Where is the girl?
Ah, you speak of my Irina.
Possession is
Unfortunate.
an
Yes.
arguable part of that sentence. I'm not sure she views herself as your Irina, but yes,
Yet.
her.
And if she does not, she will be killed. Her soul will be put in another. And I will try again.
Ah.
Where is she?
Oh, I have no idea. This one here is apparently able to keep Rahadin busy. Just long enough for her to slip into the woods.
How does
Which is
Rahadin
why
look?
he will be not taken prisoner here.
We have a picture.
Hmm?
I asked how Rahadin looked. I wondered whether I could keep him busy.
Oh, Rahadin looks fine. He looks
Damn.
pristine.
Daddy.
Okay.
Whether it was him or he just showed up to collect.
I'll sort of meet Ismark's eyes and just sort of give him a little nod.
Ismark looks very panicked. You see his eyes are wide.
Mr. Strahd, Mr. Zarovich, sir, you strike me as a reasonable man.
Of course.
I have grown rather fond of this gentleman here. We travelled some of the way on the road with him. And I'll gesture towards Ismark. You're a bargaining kind of man.
What
But
could you
his-
possibly have to offer?
Well, his life is worth very little to you, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know what could a man who has everything such as yourself possibly want. Perhaps a ballad written about your great deeds or your rather incredible
ballad.
jawline. Perhaps, I don't know. Fat, tasty halflings from Neverwinter. I don't know. You can tell that Dax is clearly lying about this and really trying to think of anything Strahd might want.
You already know what he wants, Dax.
He slowly raises his hand and gestures for Rahadin to move forward.
He wants freedom.
Oh, well, yeah.
And Rahadin just tosses Ismark up onto the table. And in his panic, he is just kicking over everything.
Is he about to be eaten?
His dessert.
The glasses, the silverware
Yes.
clattering to the floor. And you see all of Strahd's consorts get much more eager. All of their features begin to just sink. The skin begins tight around their face. And they all begin to just lurch. onto the
Wait!
table.
Oh, Gorg?
There's really nothing you'd like instead of that?
Oh, there is nothing. In fact, I do this with glee. If it were not for him, I would have to wait less. I might have to raise an entire city, a village, just to find her again. You've seen what happened to Barovia. Half of those homes just contain zombies, undead.
How about this?
I'm
How about this? Wait. Sorry, you can go ahead, Josh.
I was just gonna say that as soon as his body's thrown on the table and they all start looking very hungry, I immediately back away from the table, very sheepishly knocking my chair over
Okay.
and standing just like not in front of the fire, but just like to the right of the fire.
Can I attempt to get in touch range of Ismark? Fairly subtly.
Oh,
Roll me initiative.
Oh
Dax,
my
if you're
God.
trying to do something.
Can I not be standing where I'm standing?
You can move.
It's a
Your
9
movement speed.
for a 14.
Like
I kind of moved here while things
I
were
rolled a
going on.
14 overall.
14. Let's see.
Is it just James rolling?
just think it's
I will say you have one turn.
That's all I want. I just
But
want
But
to
if you're trying to do something with Ismark, you need to give me initiative.
Okay. I ain't getting involved.
All right. What are you doing, Dax?
So I'll turn to Strahd and say, I just, perhaps at least some entertainment before he is so gloriously shared out. Perhaps we could tell some of the deeds of him on the road. He's got to serve a purpose beyond desert, does he not? For I have seen this man face down your brother here, not gesture towards Rahadin. And that is no minor deed, even if it was across the tavern floor. But all I'm doing is trying to distract as I get closer to Ismark. And I'm sort of taking up my lute as if to perform.
Strahd is not paying attention to you at all.
As I get
And
closer.
he has stepped onto the table.
Shit.
Oh god.
Dax, before you were able to do anything, you see Valenta just dig her entire fingers, the ones that are left, into Ismark's leg. And he lets out a scream
I able to
as
also
he
do
begins to
anything?
try to pull away.
So where I'm standing, I'm trying to block everyone because there's too many. But at least this side of the table, I'm trying to get between them and Ishmark. Don't think it's working. But I'm just gonna look at Strahd and say, "You can't kill him yet. I will help you, but you can't kill him yet. This man owes me money. Let him live. I will help you find Irina."
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage. Or
Should I
deception.
give you deception?
Deception,
All right, because
yeah.
I don't actually plan to help him because I'm lying.
Oh my god.
So I
As
can
you
do
were
either.
talk-
I can give persuasion.
Yeah, whichever one it is. You don't have to tell me which one it is, but just whichever one you're actually using, just give me the number.
All right, first roll, 15. Second one is a 10. Oh, it's a 10.
Tobork, he is not paying any attention to you. And you see even Esther, the nice one, has fangs bared. These white eyes. Leans forward, moving across the table, kicking the glasses over, and just digs into Ismark's shoulder and pulls him towards him. Now he's being pulled in two separate directions.
God.
Dax.
Yep,
What are you
I'm
doing?
just gonna put my hand on Ismark's shoulder, like I've just shuffled up a little bit here. Just gonna reach over just at the very edge of my fingertips, just touch him. And I let one strum of the lute, and I'm still talking to Strahd about, we'll write a ballad of his great deeds! And I'm just gonna invisibility him and just go, run! And then I'm just gonna back off and go back to my seat as if I was saying nothing and keep talking to Strahd as if I'm going. I have no idea if he can see invisible creatures. I have no idea what... I mean, I know as a player I know that Raziel tried to go invisible, but obviously Dax hasn't got a fucking clue. So he's hoping that doing this might give Ismark a moment to run. He also doesn't know if these guys can see invisible creatures. It might give him a second to try and run away. But Dax is trying desperately more than anything not to be seen doing what he's doing. Like, if Ismark gets a chance, great, but he'd far rather not get killed himself.
Dax.
By the
As
way,
you-
me saying run to him is giving him bardic inspiration.
As you touch Ismark's shoulder and cast your spell, you hear Strahd, "No! I want to watch!" And he snaps his finger, and your spell just fades.
Oh, forgive a halfling for trying, you know? I was just... It could have been a good sport, and I really do like the gentleman. He was quite endearing on the way. Oh, well, dessert it is. And I'll sit back and sort of, like, put a fake, like, grimace on my face, like a sort of... And look pointedly just over the table, trying desperately not to see Ismark.
Am I able to do anything else, or?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I would like to bring my axe onto the back neck of Valenta.
Oh, you're attacking her?
I'm attacking Valenta.
Alright.
Oh shit,
give me
it's
a
happening.
Shit. I really liked
So I get-
Tobok as a character.
Do I get advantage since I'm from behind?
Yeah. I will say that she's not expecting it. So if you do your damage, you'll have your bugbear thing too.
Ah, shit, I rolled a fucking 12.
12 does not hit.
I didn't think so.
But they do see that you swung at her. And Togork,
my god.
in almost an instant, you feel yourself unable to move
I still talk?
within the 5 feet of you. Yeah, you can still talk, but almost like a mime, you are just stuck in a box.
Strahd, what kind of leader would I be if I didn't stand for what I believed in?
You should stand
Myself,
for
I'm
yourself
proving myself right now.
An
to
alive one.
protect others.
I'm stand for myself,
Exactly.
and I stand for the money that I'm owed.
You're also a liar, Togork.
True, I never did. I never said I wasn't.
And just as you're talking to him, you see a streak of blood just kind of fling across his face, as Ismark is brutally just torn apart.
Ooh.
Just strips and flesh and blood, and the screaming just very quickly comes to a halt. Ismark is not even recognizable anymore. And you see all of them are half leaned over or completely on the table, just devouring him. Gnawing on the bones, stripping it. And that's where we're gonna end the session.
Okay.
No more Ismark.
Should have stayed with Barney. Told your ass.
Honestly, we did tell him. We literally tried to get him not to like go on his own like that, and
Can I?
deserved that.
Did he still have the cloak on that said like my brave boy?
Yeah.
And if so, can I take this now bloodstained cloak?
Yeah, if you want to just like lean in, just pull it out from under like the mess that's there.
Yeah,
you can
I'm
do that.
right here. I got a front row seat, and Phaedra sits there and watches the whole thing.
Yeah. Just
Oh.
in the middle of them eating, they're just like, sorry, just excuse me, I'm just gonna...
Yeah, I slipped the cloak out from under the mess.
All right.
Well, when it comes to tradition of MVPs, and given this absolute masterclass of a session, I think it's only fair to give it to Tyler first. We'll come to you first, and then because I think 99% of the MVPs are going to be in regards to things you did. So, what was your MVP?
Me? It was just everybody. I'm just happy that everybody like participated and had input. They were able to talk about their character a little bit.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one specific thing, probably Togork taking a swing. Because if you would have hit, that would have been a whole nother situation that we would have went into next session. If you
Oh
would have
God.
hit, I would have just ended the session right there, because that would have been something else.
Oh my goodness.
I'm very grateful that I didn't give you the bardic.
Shit, it's a good thing. I guess it's good I rolled 12.
We'll come to you, Matt.
What's
your MVP?
Well, I mean, I actually want to die, and it might seem that way, but I'm not trying to kill myself.
Me too.
I mean, I feel like every single NPC we meet in this campaign is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And like me and the little like the creature, I don't remember its name. That was like a portion of 20 different beings. Like it was a super quick conversation with that dude, and it was like had a very unique personality.
Yeah.
All these characters,
Cyrus
like
Feldman, right?
yeah, like
Oh, yeah,
but like Valenta specifically, Togork legitimately does not like her strictly because she's just too weird.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard for Togork.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Josh.
Okay, so like a very little one. It's just I always enjoy being in campaigns with Michaela because a lot of the time we're like always on the same wavelength. Like Strahd mentioned like liking his castle once, I was like okay, and then he mentioned it a second time about having a castle, and both me and Michaela at the same time and chat like, gosh, he keeps going on about this fucking castle.
He loves his castle.
So that's just like a little minor one. But I mean, obviously everything was just incredible. Like all the atmospheric things, like Matt said, the NPC is amazing. But I'm gonna give it to the payoff of finding Mad Mary's daughter. In the wine cellar.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. Especially because like we didn't. Could have been very easily that we just did not go and talk to Mad Mary. So to have that and then have this reveal was very, very cool.
Michaela.
Yeah, a great, amazing session. Of course, everything was so tense. I was like, it was so hard to be in like Phaedra's mindset because she does not fuck with undead and vampires. But also, I'm scared. I don't want to die. Like everyone said, but also my MVP is gonna go to like Togork's lack of diplomacy and tact. Like when the spawn came in and he just straight up said, "Are you all vampires?" And we were all just like talking around it. So yeah, I love that. So hard for me to play that kind of blunt character.
Yeah. I've got a few. Just a quick note on some of the player stuff. I loved how Phaedra sort of held her own with Strahd. Because she was like very much saying, you know, that misery is her strength in sort of sense. But then when she was like, "I'm nothing like you," I really liked that. That was a really cool moment. I really liked the mysterious Raziel secret. I don't know if this is... I think I know Josh's secret because I'm some awareness of his backstory, but I don't know if this is like this mysterious paladin who's hunting me down, who I have no idea who he is, or if this is like something where Josh genuinely does know what's going on and is connecting to that. And I don't think I want to know, if I'm deadly honest.
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Well, my issue is that I have two. Not that I have two secrets, but there are two mysteries in Raziel's backstory.
Right.
They're connected, but they're two separate things. So I'm sat here like, what is he? Which one is he?
Yeah,
talking
definitely.
about? Is he talking about all of it?
I'm looking at my backstory and going, every person mentioned is dead. And it's very clear. So I have no idea what's going on there. But also, Togork's... for me, it was not actually any of the sort of like the bluntness or stuff. It was more the case of like... I mean, I think actually, Tyler, you alluded to it. You said, is this Togork not knowing or Matt not knowing? Because you do commit to the character so well, it is difficult to know. Like, you really commit to your character, and that's beautiful. So I really, really enjoy that, Matt. But honestly, Tyler, you just hit the session out the fucking park. I'm gonna wax on a little minute because I very rarely get the opportunity to appreciate another DM's work unless I'm watching it on Twitch, like Critical Role or whatever. And this was just like, from the moment you had the organ playing and he disappeared, and then the sort of, I knew what was coming, that click, click, click of heels on the stones, but then it wasn't Strahd, right? It was the vampire spawn, and they came in, and every description was different and separate, but that might, you know, whether that's given in the book or not, you gave each one of them a personality that we either hated, loved, got engaged with, whatever, just like the gentleman who let us in. The cutting off of the organ music, the absolute silence, and then this sort of, like, you let that silence sit and sit and sit, and then you brought us in, and the dining table was amazing, and then, like, your engagement with individual NPCs, just the little things, like, I know to watch my silverware, I know to watch my secrets, you said to Raziel, which was just, like, oh, that was such a beautiful moment, and, you know, and turning around to Phaedra, I mean, like, if you were in charge, isn't this what you would do? Isn't this what your world would look like? And it's just like, oh... but more than anything, Strahd's entrance, the windows cracking, the howling, the everything going, but then everything going back to normal, like the darkness coming back into the candlelight, even to the moment that you got up and turned off your light, like, I'm just absolutely blown away. Incredible session. I was on the edge of my seat, and I'm playing a character who's terrified, and that's great because I was terrified. Like, in that moment, I don't do horror, Josh knows that. I'm terrified of anything and everything. And it was just like, I could feel the chills. It was astounding. So, yeah. Just kudos to you. It was an incredible session. But that is where we're going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you soon.